Welcome, everybody. This is What You're Baking in 7 Questions. We are Baking is My podcast. And today we have with us Kneel Before the King.
Yeah, but we have a familiar face here.
Yes, that's true.
Because our buddy Luke here, he's been on the show before.
Yeah, if you remember Luke Middleton, if you remember some solo work from Luke, this is now some band work from Luke. So welcome back, dude. We appreciate having you back. And James and James. We are James.
We are James.
We are James joining us as well. If you guys just real quick for anybody that's listening and just to the audio only, just kind of say your name, say what you do, so they get a voice, they can attach to different answers and stuff like that.
All right. Well, I'm Luke Middleton. I'm the lead frontman for Kneel Before the King.
You want to go or me? I'll go. My name is James Parker. I'm mainly the guitar player and producer for Kneel Before the King.
Nice.
All right, I'm Danny Ferguson, and I'm the screamer for Kneel Before the King.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very cool.
And guys, their debut single "Save Me" is out now. You can find it on all streaming platforms. You can also find some video for it on YouTube. So definitely follow the band, check the band. It's Kneel Before the King band on socials, right? Or at least on TikTok. Where are we at on the socials?
It's Kneel Before the King on Instagram, and then we have our websites in the link in the bio.
Yep. So we'll have links for everything below.
Yeah.
Also, are you guys ready to have us use our brain balls to spelunk into your heart piece with our 7 questions of doom?
Of doom. Yes. I'm ready to be moved.
Bring the heat.
Doom and love.
Yeah.
Doom and love.
Same thing.
Of appreciation.
Yeah.
Of knowledge and knowing.
Oh.
We're gonna so our listeners know a bit of the ooey gooey center of Luke.
Yes.
But now James and Danny, they're gonna get to know a little bit more of you and even more of Luke, which I'm very excited for.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right on.
So are you guys ready?
I'm ready. Rock and roll.
You want to kick this off?
Sure.
I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Guys, question number 1. Which color has the worst personality?
Which color has the worst personality?
Yes.
Bubblegum pink.
Ooh.
Bubblegum pink. Hot take.
That's a hot take, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate there?
No, I mean, it just kind of speaks for itself. You know what I mean? Barbie movie, all around the ball, like Pepto-Bismol. There's nothing really fantastic that comes out of bubblegum. I don't know. I'm kind of putting the spot here. I didn't have a philosophical answer prepared, but
I do want to rebuttal that though. I don't usually.
Okay, hit me with it. I'm open to discussion.
Man.
Big League Chew.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You really choose it.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, even if they're wrong.
Right.
You got turquoise too.
Turquoise.
That color.
Turquoise can be quite bombastic.
It's aggressive.
on a bolo tie?
Yeah, kind of a jerk.
On a bolo tie? It's pretty sweet.
Very full of himself. Turquoise.
Danny, what about you?
I'm gonna say like lime green. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. Lime green is just an ugly color, no matter what it is.
I'm gonna go with you.
Stealing this.
I'm gonna go with you on the lime green. You took the grandma pillow?
Yeah. We're not in our usual quarters.
Yeah, we are coming to you from
Charlotte,
North Carolina. This is a hotel room with frames with no pictures.
I mean, they look inspirational. It's like a masterpiece on the wall. You guys are just filling it in.
When I look at it, I might see a different picture than you. It's all in the eye of the beholder.
True that.
Absolutely.
True that.
All right.
There you go.
Shadow art.
Okay, so lime green. What's up with the lime green here?
I just never seen it look good on anything. Like cars, especially. I mean, like hairstyles, you never really see it. It's just more of like oof. Like there's something going on. They're fighting something.
It's an accent color, and it should know its place.
Yeah, damn right.
Okay. And Luke, your pick is turquoise?
Yeah, turquoise is just not a color for me.
Yeah, no turquoise. All right. I'm with it. Question number 2. Each one of you, give us something that you're a snob about.
Ooh. Oh man.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
I mean, maybe it's coffee. Maybe it's books. Maybe it's movies. Maybe you're a movie snob. Super
Totally
jet.
random. My biggest thing that I'm a big snob about right now is Warhammer 40K. That is my biggest thing right now.
Nice. Okay. What are we? Why are we snobbish about it?
It's great. It's literally just, how do I word it? It's just great. I like it more than Star Wars, honestly, at this point. It just makes me a big snob about it.
Okay. All right.
It's a hot take.
No, I will die on that hill. I say, the way I describe Warhammer is instead of the whole galaxy went to flames with one guy with daddy issues. Warhammer, all of the galaxy goes to burn because 20 guys had daddy issues, and half of them is I'm going to rebel against your dad. And the other half is I'm going to defend my dad. And the other guy is I don't want anything to do with you. I just want to go to the store and get milk. That's literally where he's at. So,
That's kind of great.
Aren't they doing a movie for Warhammer? Is it Henry Cavill doing something with it?
mm-hmm, with Amazon, yeah.
Yeah. I heard
really?
Because he's a huge fan. So he's Henry Cavill. Is there a bigger nerd in Hollywood?
King of the Nerd.
He's
No. And he's the best. He's great.
Yeah.
I love that he doesn't necessarily take himself too seriously.
I prefer that.
James, what about you?
Honestly, probably really, really, really bad speakers. It could be, you could put me in the nicest BMW off the lot, but if it sounds like crap, I will not take the car. It's just, you got to be able to blast music and it's got to be able to sound good. You know what I mean?
You also mentioned that you're a producer, so
I'm picky.
Listen, when you're mixing is super important.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, 100%. So as far as the term snobby, definitely that's probably it.
Are you in general? Is it just in cars, or is it just audio snob in general?
In general, cars is where it's most noticeable most of the time, your day to day. But if I'm out in public and you just got a trashy speaker playing, in the mall or something, it drives me crazy. Somebody worked hard to get a really good mix to make the song sound as good as it can, and it's coming through a $30 made in Taiwan piece of crap. It's just doesn't do justice to the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your little Bluetooth Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Or that Temu speaker. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So. Absolutely. Luke, what about you, man?
Shoot, man, I don't know. What I'm pretty snobby about. I don't know. Space. I'll say space.
The space around you, having your own.
Yeah, well, both. So you have outer space, and then are you a flat earther?
Are you asking if I'm a flat earther?
I'm not a flat earther.
I just got so excited.
But yeah, I think that's.
No, do we want to get into that?
He's a snob about round planets, is what he is.
Yep, snob about round planets.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm also a snob about round planets. I've never been asked that ever, Luke. Thank you.
I'm sitting here thinking too. I'm like, God, what do I say? What am I snobby about? Well, that's that. There's my answer.
A great answer.
It's okay. I said something stupid the last episode, so
that wasn't stupid at all. That was good. I mean, you did say something.
That was pretty stupid. So,
all right.
I loved it.
Question number 3. If you could choose
flat Earth.
It's one of the greatest moments on the show. Thank you. If you could choose one animal as your battle companion, which would it be?
Yes.
Oof. Real or fantasy?
Your pick.
Go for it.
Your pick.
Till I know mine.
Go for it, Luke. What you got?
Napoleon Dynamite's Pegasus.
Oh!
Excellent choice.
Oh, shoot. Wow. That's a good one.
Great choice.
That's a really good one.
Great choice.
I don't even know how to pronounce it. What? Chitulu?
Cthulhu?
Yes, Cthulhu. Now that's the one.
Okay.
Words are hard. Why not? I'll take over all the dark reigns of the realm. I think that's a good power move.
Nice.
All right, James. What about you?
You know, Luke inspired me with Napoleon Dynamite, so I got to go with a liger, just for the cultural significance of a liger. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I like that.
That's simple, elegant.
100%.
I mean, what? Is it? Okay.
Like if you saw a liger rolling up, are you gonna say anything? Or are you gonna turn and run? I would turn and run. If it were
I don't know if I'd run because that would put it in a predatory.
I can listen. I can call it back.
No,
On my side.
I feel like that's a liger.
I think seeing a liger in real life would be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh crap, it's gonna eat.
I would try and make friends with it.
try to do it.
You know,
that's what you
inject tones.
Give up an arm to get away.
You're adorable.
Right.
Nice.
Good animals. All right. Question number 4, a little creativity here.
Right.
What is the creepiest thing that you could say to somebody that you just met?
Ooh. You look a lot better close up.
Okay.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
That was really quick.
I was ready.
That's
experience.
And you say that?
That's called experience.
Okay.
Remember that time?
Wait.
Well, you look better when you're awake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I was gonna say you smell better when you were awake.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, could you whisper in somebody's ear and just say like you look like a great couponer and just walk away? I mean, would that be like a
what?
compliment?
A couponer?
Yeah, like God, you look like a great couponer, and just like as a whisper in their ear to really throw them
A
off.
whisper. Right.
Yeah,
right.
The whisper, yeah, that sells it for sure.
I think that would be my go-to. It's
Well,
like it could be an insult or a compliment in this day and age.
Let's dig deeper.
Depending who you talk to.
Let's dig deeper on the couponer thing. Though. Elaborate on that. My
Be-
couponer.
Be thrifty.
I'm intrigued.
Why? Listen, in this economy, you got to be a really good couponer.
Right.
But then, but my friends are like, man, you look like you're an old person now. You're not with the times. Like, who coupons really anymore? Like, you probably would judge me more than anybody if I did that.
Or you could be like, you look like a coupon and I'm a clipper.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go. Ooh.
I like that one.
We're finding that I can make it creepier. Really?
You look like a
Or just be
coupon.
like,
and
ooh, I want to clip
You
your
can do it in the Herbert the Perfect voice. You know, so for
Oh.
Family Guy, I think that would relieve the dilemma.
Go ahead and demonstrate.
Yeah. But,
want some popsicles?
Yeah.
hey there, Chris.
I got a pocket full of Skittles.
Oh boy.
Not the best candy around.
You want to root around for a green?
Oh gosh. Ugh. Luke's is gonna be like,
What about you, man? What's
yeah, he's gonna be like, so are you a flat earther?
There you go. There's my answer.
Oh, come on, don't steal it. You gotta come up with your own, bro. Come on.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Mike stole mine. I was gonna say, you smell better when you're dead. So
Whoa. That's a little different.
pretty dark, right? Leave it speechless.
pretty dark.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what
It's
Mike
also
said, bro.
we go dark, man. We go dark sometimes.
yeah, make her think a little bit.
Your hair smells
Be like,
different.
I'll be like, what the hell?
I mean, I probably would just start laughing. I mean, what did I just hear? Is that correct?
My goodness. All right, question number 5. This is where you could be harshly judged.
Yes.
Ruh-roh.
Yes.
Okay.
After everything we've said so far, this is the judgment one.
This is the judgment. Toilet paper rolls. Over or under?
Under.
Over.
Over.
What?
100%.
Who said
Under.
under?
Under. Why under?
Well, you mean like
Like over.
Like so
No,
either, either
Like beards or mullets.
I like that. Beards.
over?
Beards.
okay.
Is it unanimously over? Are we all in agreement here?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
we're all on over.
Got it.
Awesome. 100% completion rate.
Oh.
So no judging.
I have allies here.
It's actually like that on the patent. If you look at
There we go.
So that's legally how it's supposed to be.
Right.
I thought you were going to ask crumpled or folded. I mean, I thought that's where we were going with this. See, Luke's a crumpler. Yeah, I can tell you.
Good question.
That is a great question.
Are you a crumpler or a folder, James?
Crumpler.
Can we ask you? Are you a crumpler or a folder?
I ask the questions, bud.
I mean, I just thought we could get to know each other better. I feel like this really breaks down the barriers.
You know?
You know what? I think I'm. It depends on the situation.
That's true. It could be different situations.
All right, fair enough. If you're in a rush.
Sometimes I'm going to wrap it around the hander.
There you go.
We really got to dig in there. Huh? Okay. All right. There you go.
It's called the dating.
We managed to still make that one gross.
Any bare handers here? No?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
I'm gonna.
Hi-oh!
Luke looks,
Go back.
he's a little incriminated over there.
No,
That's
I'm a
somebody.
folder.
No.
Okay.
Just I wipe with my bare hands. Someone's like, yeah, I just. Did you want cracked pepper on that salad?
Oh my god! Wow, amazing.
Okay. Question number 6. There's only 7. We're almost through here.
That's crazy. Rapid fire.
Question number 6. You have to pick one of your previous Halloween costumes to wear every day for the rest of your life.
Oh, God.
Which one do you pick?
I was Eminem last Halloween, so I'll take that.
Eminem. Good one.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's
That's an
you,
easy
that can
like.
pass for a day. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just baggy fit, beanie on, I'm good to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the last time I dressed up probably was it the Toy Story like pizza delivery guy, Pizza Planet guy? I think that's what I would roll with.
Nice.
All you need is really a shirt, so I'm pretty good to take it off. So I'm solid.
I got to do the cop out answer. I was a lumberjack, and it just kind of fit in. Wear flannel, some jeans, cop out Halloween. I can deal with that. I can tolerate it.
That works.
Comfy, cozy, practical.
I mean, kind of scared, honestly.
It wasn't until recently that there were certain people who would answer and they were like, "Oh yeah, this one year I was an avocado."
Right.
And I built the costume myself, and it was like, cool. Is that going to work in the movies?
You got to do that every day. Huh?
Like, I'm going to go to the movies.
But we
try
did
to
it.
sit.
We did have someone that was like Carrie. I was Carrie,
Yeah.
and she was just like, "I'll just pour blood on myself all day." I was like, "Okay, every day."
Nobody would mess with her. You know what I mean? That's kind of smart.
Yeah, that's a
I would hope it
Yeah.
was.
You are safe on the streets at night, 100%.
right.
I just hope it was right.
Audible on this one.
All right.
All right. So Luke did answer this question in the past, but it's been a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Hearts and minds change.
This is true.
So it could be a different answer now. I don't remember how you answered.
I don't either.
Yeah. The question is this. I want you guys to dig deep
Okay.
within the cockles of your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? Knock on that little door to the young, innocent, unscathed.
Untouched by the world's harsh realities.
Yeah. Little you inside. Knock on that door, open it up, and say, how do you feel about garden gnomes?
I think it's a pastime. Honestly, they're great. Honestly, I like the horror movies about them. I mean, you mess with them, get on the wrong side, it's a 1v1,000. I mean, you're kind of SOL.
Right.
I mean, I respect them. They really hold down the fort against nature himself. Like the Chia Pet commercials they used to have back in the day that would have like the garden gnomes that grow its own fro.
Right.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That was motivational. Inspired me.
Good answer.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Motivational, respect. All right. James, Luke.
Terrifying. They're scary. If something is that small and that happy all the time, I mean, there's something going on inside that's just not well with a little garden gnome. You know what I mean?
But
I agree.
You can't trust them, you know? And like he said, strength in numbers. So it's like, I keep my distance.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Something must have happened.
It's like I hate dolls inherently. Like that's my phobia, right? Is like little dolls. So I think it transfers over to small little like gnome dudes because they're basically just little garden dolls. You know what I mean? It's like
It's porcelain.
it's scary as shit. So
They are.
It can be.
Yeah. How many would you have to see for you to go like I'm not going up to that?
one,
and you're not going to the house.
one and done. You know, that's what they say.
I mean, it's not going to hurt you. It's just a porcelain.
No, I don't trust it.
No,
I
that
don't trust
attitude,
it.
you could.
Nope. I
Listen,
don't trust
take the
it.
chance.
Have you seen Chucky?
Dude, the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
Have you seen Annabelle?
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I got hands.
Little and on little.
Why can't you're not going to just pick up the doll and just yeet it the other direction and run? You can't outrun a doll.
It's something about a little inanimate object with a face, right? It's not. It's uncanny. It's
Have
not
you
right.
looked yourself in the mirror? That's an uncanny object. You looked yourself right in the mirror every day, and you don't.
We're
freak
rolling
out
you out of this interview.
I enjoy the passion though. The passion in the defense. Defense of the gnomes.
I mean, we get answers from across the board here. Like, you know, we've had people go, I use them as target practice. We've had people go, they could be rambunctious, but they're also there to protect.
Right.
So,
and we found one guy in a band that actually has a hobby of buying unpainted gnomes and painting them in his garage.
yeah. Yeah, we literally
We'll put you in touch with them for touring.
No, I just tell him I recommend
He would
therapy.
love that.
I know.
Honestly, he wants to buy one, get one like 5 special.
Oh,
He
God.
wants all of them.
So, practical joke time. Anybody that wants to on James, just start hiding gnomes in his gear. Little,
Especially around Christmas time, I think it'd be great.
just little ones. We've gnomed bands before. We recommend it. Tour pranks, fun stuff.
Right.
Right next to your pedalboard, so you're just like, ugh.
Oh God. If you see me pass out on stage, you know why.
Oh man, yes. Yeah, but gnoming bands is fun. It's a lot of fun.
We'll make sure that we hide it in a corner, right in the back. It's like
Right.
directly staring at you.
Yes.
Crazy.
Dude, just know if we don't catch you, gravity will. So that's all that matters.
Hey, I'll take it any day.
The ground is always there
Mm-hmm.
on this flat earth of ours.
Oh man.
That's a callback.
We're gonna go down as that flat earther band from now on.
Listen,
I am not a flat
No.
earther.
I swear.
Listen, that's what exactly
He doesn't speak
a
for
flat
us
Earth
though.
is.
You know?
It's going on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Would you like to see my flat Earth PowerPoint presentation?
Live before the king. Not flat question mark.
Actually, that's gonna be the next track name right there. We're not flat earthers in parentheses.
Oh man. Well, we have to do good. We have to, because we have the same PR person.
That's right.
So
Yeah, there we go.
That's right.
we can't mess with you that bad.
Here we can.
I mean, we can.
We can
Flat Earth Tour
Give them gnomes.
2026.
Well, that too.
Give
Well,
them-
that's different,
Gnomes and globes.
right? But we can't spread rumors about them being flat earthers.
No, it's going to be gnomes and globes or lack thereof.
That's right.
That's like the Step Brothers
That's
song.
deep. Yeah.
Gnomes and globes. Gnomes and globes.
Can it be performed at the Calatino wine mixer?
Pow pow!
Yeah, that's what I want.
Catalina wine mixer. Fucking Catalina wine mixer. Nice.
So the reason that we go through all these super in-depth questions is one, so everybody kind of gets a chance to know you guys and know your personality a little bit, so we can kind of loosen it all up, so we can have a real conversation. Because a lot of interviews are super stiff and annoying and boring and terrible. And then also to get to like the idea behind our whole show is the question of what's your bacon, right? So bacon is our metaphor. Like you put bacon on any plate, it makes that meal better. It just improves whatever it's with. So metaphorically in life for each of you guys, like what do you have? What's that thing for you? Might be Warhammer, right? It, like for some people, yeah, for some people it's video games, for some people it's movies, some people reading, walking. Most people it's music that you talk to. But then if you're in a band and you write and you do music, sometimes you need something
if you're living
to
music,
like
you need that
to
thing.
take you away from that for a second too, every now and then. So for you guys, like for each of you, what do you have that's like your escape thing? What's your thing that you nerd out on, or just really like appreciate that makes your life a little bit better?
Other than Warhammer, I usually say spending time with my dogs. I'm usually like hiking, walking, training. So I have I have a 3-year-old Dutch Shepherd mix that, you know, my old lady, like 12-year-old lab mix chow. They're my ESAs. But
Nice.
usually when I have time, I really just like spending time with them. So if I'm down in a rut or something in a funk, I usually just go with them, and they kind of keep me out of that kind of mindset. So they usually just have all my attention. So they make me feel better and definitely appreciate kind of like everything around that's going on. That I'm like, you know what? It's just a temporary problem. There's going to be a good solution at the end of it. What am I stressing about? You know, they got me. I got them. We're good.
Right. You see how happy these people are around me right now?
Right.
yeah. What do I got to complain about?
Right. How many dogs do you have?
Just 2.
Just 2? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. We're dog people also, so
Very much.
Better than cats.
definitely he has 2, I have 1, and definitely
What
like
So I have a 10-year-old going on 11-year-old boxer
Oh,
named Bane.
I love that.
And I have a Bulldog, Beagle, Boston Terrier mix that looks like a mini boxer.
That's awesome.
and I have he's a French Bulldog Boston Terrier mix named Bruce Wayne.
Nice.
That's awesome
I love
too.
That's awesome.
And if you're asking, yes, Bruce Wayne did
Yes.
meet Bane.
We did let them meet.
Crazy world.
No.
Oh my goodness, you broke the 4th wall. That's where I'm at with
I want to
this.
throw out here. Do you remember when this guy said that Warhammer was better than Star Wars? That was his hot take.
It
Yes.
is.
One of his dogs is named after a Star Wars character.
It is.
So we'll just throw that out there.
My wife named it. So
Oh.
it wasn't really me.
Any named after Warhammer characters?
Yeah.
Well, with my next one, but probably not. I want to go for I want to get a Malinois or a German Shepherd, but I want to name it out of the ordinary. I want to name it Anubis. You always hear what is it, Hades,
Right.
Zeus. Nobody just goes for random Egyptian god names. So you know what? Let's just kind of throw a curveball out of it.
I like it.
I like that.
I like it. I think my favorite dog name that I take Bruce to a park near us, and there's a bulldog there, and he doesn't move much. He just kind of they bring him and he stands up and he looks around everybody, and then he lays down on the concrete, and then he stands up. He's like, "Rah!" Like one of those. And he looks, even if he's not making noise, he looks like he's going, "Rah!" Right? And I was like, "What's his name?" And she said, "His name's Tonka." And I was like, "Oh,
I love
oh
it.
my God.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Great.
Bravo.
Bravo
Totally
to you."
not a name you'd hear at all.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. So James, what's your bacon?
Oh, this is so nerdy. Honestly, probably aside from music, I'm a big history nerd. I love going to history sites, watching documentaries. I like seeing where everything kind of came from and how the world we live in right now has been shaped. Whether that's something like going to a local monument, seeing, the city you grew up in, how it, came to be the point that it's at. I just love. I'm a nerd for a museum. I love.
Nice.
I want to travel to different cathedrals and historical sites someday, and yeah, that's probably it for me. I will genuinely enjoy a documentary, as insane as it is.
I don't
That's
know
awesome.
if you probably have, but one of my favorite history and just experience kind of shows to watch is Expedition Unknown.
Okay, yeah,
Josh Gates. That dude, oh man, he'd be one of our friends.
Yeah, he wants to be Indiana Jones really badly,
don't we all?
and but he gets to go do that.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, they pay him to go do that stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched it before, but Expedition Unknown, I highly recommend it. They have a lot of really cool. They go into folklore too, and they go into other kind of weird things, but even religious.
Is it on Hulu?
Max.
Max.
It's on Max.
You can find it on YouTube.
But
and stuff.
but
Right.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
highly recommended. They have a lot of really, really cool stuff. Pirate ships and World War II airplanes that are lost, and old ships from the 1400s that they're trying to unearth, and
That's right up my alley.
the religious artifacts, and just like it's wild. It's wild. It's awesome. It's really, really awesome.
That's super. I'm definitely going to check that out. That sounds right up my alley. So.
Have you been anywhere that just kind of like blew your mind? Like what?
Man. I think the biggest one was being in Italy last year and seeing like, I saw like the tomb of Michelangelo and Galileo and these major, cultural icons, not just for Italy, but for just humanity as a whole, and they're like, just, the bones of that person's right in front of you. It just kind of blew your mind, So
that's crazy.
Probably being in Italy.
Nice. That's awesome. I always find it like, I got to go to China, and when I was there, I was always kind of like reminding myself that like, okay, I'm standing on walkways that have been here for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
It's like in America we don't have that. You know what I mean? Like we can see we have a crazy rich history, but it only goes back so far that we can see things from. And it's like when you visit somewhere. And it's like, wait a minute. So like a samurai walked here, and on this same stone path, and it just blows your mind that you feel very small. Absolutely. As you look at, you're like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was at I went to Aruba last year, and they had the ruins of an old refinery, gold refinery, and it was from the 1600s. And it's like, you go around here and in the U.S. and there's like we went to New Orleans and we went to the oldest bar ever in the U.S. and was done in the 1800s, and you're like, that's pretty cool. But then you go to these ruins of a place that was actively working in the 1600s, and it's just like, wow, this is powerful. Like, it's crazy how powerful it actually is.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the craziest thing from Italy was like there was this place called the Pitti Palace in Florence, and you go toward the back and there was this like obelisk statue kind of thing. And I don't remember the exact years, but I know it was roughly like built in Egypt in like 200 BC. And then these rich people in Italy picked it up and moved it to their palace in like the 1400s. And it's been there ever since. So there's this random Egyptian sculpture just sitting in the middle of Florence that's like, from the BC era. Like, it's insane.
That's wild.
So that was pretty neat, getting to see that.
That's amazing. It's amazing that anything like is still
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
From that long ago, that's still like was made well enough to last. Pretty great. Luke, how about you? What's your banking, man?
I got two, so I'll answer one for myself, and I think I got one for the band as a whole. We're all pretty much nerds here, but I don't know. Recently, I really am a sucker for space. Like, I know that sounds like super, super weird, but I mean, sometimes, I'll get super anxious, whatever. I'll just walk outside and look at the stars. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Because like we really are just a small dot in a big universe. That's crazy. And so I'll go in a super deep depth. I'll fall asleep to space videos. It's like talking about like black holes and planets and stars and all. It's kind of cool.
I do that too, man. I'm with you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I nerd out.
Yeah, all that stuff is really cool to me too.
Yeah, astronomy and like everything about just the fact that we've been there a little bit blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
or have we?
Right? We have.
Are we flat earthers?
Oh, crazy.
But no, so I think a big one as far as, all three of us, I mean, I could speak for James more than Danny. We've kind of driven Danny into this a little bit, but we're all suckers for paranormal. Yep. So
yeah.
We're big paranormal guys. We drug Danny out when we first, started as a band. We thought it was this genius idea just to go, screw around in a cemetery. So Danny, not really present in the band yet, but he's like, man, they're crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Initiation. Yeah.
So have you guys? So we've had a number of really cool paranormal personalities and guests on the show. But like, have you ever been on an actual investigation or anything like that?
Not really. No. Not yet.
I mean, so when I lived in New York, I went through a poltergeist. So based on my past experiences, won't touch on them, but created a lot of negative energy. So I was literally living in a poltergeist movie. So I had when I was in the military. So I had the priests come to my house. I've had mediums come to my house up there, and I couldn't get a paranormal team on base just because the DoD doesn't allow it. So I was talking with Adirondack Paranormal Investigative Team, but they're from upstate New York, and they couldn't get on post. However, there was a couple people on base who had some similar experiences, but they'd come to my house and start telling me things that there's no way they know. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool though.
I actually spent the night, like I did an investigation. My wife and I are very much into it, like you guys.
Sweet.
And we stayed at a haunted hotel, and that was some wild shit that, I'll never forget. Changed my life.
You want to name drop the hotel?
What's that?
You want to name drop the hotel?
The Shanley.
Okay.
In New York.
Right on.
Shanley Hotel.
I think we, like Luke said, we went to some graveyard together as a band early on or whatever before Danny was in. And I think a verbatim quote was, this is some white boy shit and my Latino ass wants to run. As
like I'm just saying, like, doesn't horror movies tell us what not to do? And people are like, this is a great idea. And this is a whole set for a horror movie.
So yeah, I'm just watching Danny here just literally get more uncomfortable. Just be like, oh my God, they do this.
It's a sigh. It's more like just.
So this hotel, like, there's some floors that are like under disrepair and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the hotel was a bar for a short while that actually had some pretty there's pictures of Billy Joel with an acoustic guitar playing acoustically there.
Wow.
It's really cool. Like, really, again, it's like there's history on it in it too. But at a certain point in the investigation, you go down into the basement, and they have it's kind of like almost like a crawl space, but then on the right they have this room, and the woman was like, because I went down there first, the woman was like, hey, you could go in there for now. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go in there now. She's like, you should. So they send me in.
You should.
I go in, and it's where, because in the winter, it was too cold to bury bodies. So they used to keep them in there, and it was like their body fridge filled with ground flood. And then some other, some tough guy came down. And he was like, nah, man, I want to go in there. And I was like, have at it. You go ahead. I come out, and the lady goes, oh, no, you're not off the hook. And I was like, but you told me to go downstairs. And just because I was first, she goes, no, you see that little hallway on the left? You're going to go down that way. And it had a chair. It was probably about 10 feet down. It had a chair. It was about 3 feet wide. I sat, and they put a spirit box and cans on me and blindfolded me.
Oh.
And they were like, just whatever on this spirit box, just repeat any words that pop up on the spirit box. Go ahead.
That's this method, right?
Yes, this method. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say it. And I was just saying all sorts of weird stuff because it was like a bar. So people at a bar and hotel. So people would go there and do unsavory stuff. And so I yelled out profanities and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I'd yell out a number or a name and stuff like that. I later go to Jen, my wife took a video of it, of what was going on. And I was answering questions that they were asking. And I was also getting grabbed.
Oh, wow.
Hot.
It was, they said they thought that was where the portal was. And I was like, cool. So you let me just go there.
Oh, man.
Have a seat.
That's fantastic.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. you felt breezes come by you and stuff, and then like you feel a grab on your ankle, and I was just like, what the fuck is that? And then we slept in what was her name? Rosie's room. And she was a prostitute.
So basically what you guys are saying is we're all going to go to the Conjuring house.
Yo,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Do it.
You tell me when. Let's go do it.
I'll watch from the safety of my tent. So when the lights go out, I'm like, yeah, that's my time to leave.
I think we should have him
They're
in the
gone.
blindfold. We should have him in the blindfold getting grabbed. I think that's his
And,
calling right there.
Sam and Colby, bro. I really y'all like Sam and Colby?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. So
But yeah, we've got the tools. We got the tools here. I got spirit boxes, and yeah,
We
let's
don't
do
have
it.
the time, but we do have the tools.
Yeah.
I've got an EMF detector and like cat balls. That's about it. But we're working on it. Work in progress, right?
Well, we hooked up with a dude named JD Stafford, who was on the Ghosts of Devil's Perch
Okay.
with Cindy Kaza and Dave. Crap! Why can't I? He was a guest on the show. Dave Schrader. And he builds the spirit boxes and stuff. So he sent us one.
That's awesome.
Pretty dope.
That's pretty sick.
So I do have a question though. So Luke, you alluded to the fact that you had like some pretty awful experiences, right? And you just talked about having your awful experience. What about that? And this is
I didn't say it was awful.
This is okay. You got grabbed and you were terrified, and you.
Okay.
Sure. What about it? And this is a serious question. Like, what about it makes you kind of go like, I want to do this more. I want to be in this more. I want to know more about it.
because I mean, realistically, it's a beautiful thing. Like it's the unknown. I mean, you can sit here all day long and say, it's not real. It is real. But when you have personal experiences, especially reconnecting with my grandmother when I lived in New York, with cancer. So when I lived up there, I had a guest bedroom in my house and it had all her furniture in it. So when I had that medium, come over to the house and was just kind of doing her thing, whatever, like as soon as she walked into my house, I had her obituary on the refrigerator. So I walked straight to that refrigerator and she was like, "This is your grandmother. She's been here." And then walked straight into her room. And then, I've had some experiences where like she used to always grab the back of my neck. So, I mean, I didn't tell her any of this. So it's crazy, the spiritual side of it. But like sitting there and I'm like just asking questions, like trying to dig deeper. Like, I started crying. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And she started grabbing the back of her neck. She's like, "She do this often?" I'm like, "There's just no way you know that."
Wow, that's crazy.
So, I mean, yeah, it can be dangerous, 100%. But I feel like if, you're smart about it and, the safety that goes into it's a big thing. Because, I mean, you don't mess around with the spiritual side, but it can be beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's discovering like new shit.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
To me, that's
I just always find it funny because the story someone will tell will be, I sat in a chair and I was blindfolded and I got scratches on my leg and I was or like I was terrorized by this thing.
It's the adrenaline. It's the adrenaline. You're like, I want to feel that.
So this is like skydiving. This is like one of those things. But then, like you said, there's that other side where it's you're connecting or you're bridging or you're finding out something or it's a fascinating kind of like human condition thing that we do.
Yeah.
Right. And the things we're willing to kind of experience to get an answer or to connect. And then the simple thing of finding out that like that experience of you seeing the woman go like, "Did she do this to you?" and everything, that making it all worth it just because you're just
right.
like, exactly the experience.
And I mean, too, at the same time, I mean, who doesn't like a good scare?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Especially when obviously
Andy doesn't like you.
But it's just a fun thing. I think all of us, we like to explore, and I think that's like we're just very optimistic people. So we're very open-minded, and who knows what the hell we'll get into, but we're getting into something.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Definitely.
I like that. I mean, like, so Luke, for you, I usually don't do this kind of thing where you're like, hey, so how'd the band get together? This and that. But like doing the paranormal stuff, is this like, have you guys been friends for a while? Or is it like you guys musically connected and then you're like,
Yeah, honestly,
on this level, like, yeah, we're both interested in this, so let's go try this out.
yeah, I mean, on a spiritual level, like just you connect with people. It's just we're just energy, right? So this is a gravitational pull, whatever. Not to get super nerdy into all that, but we met, in January of last year, and it's just we feel like we've known each other our whole lives. So, we're all super super close, and we're just kind of riding this wave together. So
that's awesome.
That's super cool.
That's the best way to do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So much better than like trying to battle through making music with people that you don't connect with.
No,
nah, we're like brothers, so we fight like family, and that's what we consider ourselves. So.
But to kind of add on to what Luke's thing, we connected through music first and then kind of realized, I think we were on a phone call one time and then somehow something came up about ghost hunting. And Luke was like, what the fuck? He's like, that's my thing. And we just started talking about it. Like he was going into his experiences and, what he's done. And, not too long after that, we were in a cemetery at like 1 a.m. taking videos. So, you never know what happens, right?
Well, we drove all the way. It was one night because we drove all the way around Orlando. We're like, dude, we went to this one cemetery, but they didn't want to break into it. So I was like, okay, well, let's go find one that's open. So
it was gated. The gate was shut,
There was no scary stories. There was no history. We just drove into a cemetery and we're like, screw it. Let's just walk around. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No ghost hunting equipment at that time. We were a little underprepared, but next time we'll be ready.
We are all our own ghost hunting equipment.
There we go.
And you'd be surprised. Like a lot of people are. A lot of the big investigators now are like, dude, your phone has got everything already.
Yeah.
You could do a call response session. You can do do basically anything you want.
Yeah.
I even have not a spirit box. What is it called? An ovulus in my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Does it hurt? Does it burn? It's obvious burns.
It's ovulus, guy.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
I see what you did. I also wonder when people use those. I am an absolute ready to be a believer in everything, but I'm also a healthy, humorous skeptic in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I always have the questions of like, okay, your spirit box told you that you're speaking to this little girl that was playing in the hallway, and you believe it. Why is that? Why do you believe it's being honest with you?
That's a
Why do you believe it's not something else?
It's something else.
Yeah.
And we were talking to somebody, and she was talking about an issue with a spirit at her house that was haunting the house and doing these things and having people come in. And she was like, I had a priest come out, and I was like, well, what if it isn't Catholic? Like, why do you think that can drive it out? Like, we're using like a very human made up belief system to try and explain away things that we're only halfway maybe getting what we're being allowed to see or hear from. So I always find that really interesting. They're like, oh, it was, she was this or he was this. I'm like, yeah, were they?
That's how I feel about astral projection. Like the same way. I'm like, how I'm so skeptical over that. I still have not figured it out yet, but I think that's one thing I'll never really truly understand.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen
studies that a lot? That's totally interested in that. But yeah, that's always my question. I'm always like, how do you know?
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen BuzzFeed Unsolved?
No.
Okay. So they pit this like staunch skeptic, right? This comedian with this sort of semi kind of believer that's scared of all this stuff. And this is on ghost investigations with all the equipment, right? So there's one episode in particular that I remember, and I think they were in like Arizona or the Wild West somewhere. They were in some jail, and they were down in this dark room. And what they decided to do is they had one of those flashlights where like it's super sensitive, right? If it gets moved, it'll turn on and turn off, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they set it up in the room, and then they put Ryan, who's the sort of semi-believer, in a chair. And Shane, the one that doesn't believe at all, was asking these like crazy, ridiculous questions. Like, do you want to hurt him? You know, do you hate us? That kind of thing. And the craziest part is the light was responding to every single question to a T.
Yeah.
And so it was like, do you have ill intent with us? And the light would turn on. And like, okay, turn the light off if you want to hurt Ryan. And the light went off like 2 seconds later. And so that's the kind of thing where like, I love seeing the skeptics and the believers kind of investigating at one time. Obviously, he still laughed it away. He didn't believe it, which you know, to me, I was like, okay, that's pretty writings on the wall, right? But
did it hurt him?
It didn't do anything, thankfully. He's lucky.
Or it was a liar. They're all liars.
Right.
Don't believe them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Conjuring House,
liars, man.
if you hate James, you need to throw him across the room now if you're real.
No,
if you don't do it, you're not. And then crazy. So as I said,
I'll accept that they're real. I just don't believe what they tell me. I don't believe. Yeah, I need to see ID from a human.
Turn the flashlight off if you're a flat earther.
Oh man, amazing. So guys, we talked a lot about a lot of fun stuff. Before we wrap up, we got to talk a little bit about your music. Tell us what do you guys? You have the new single out. You got more stuff coming up. What is happening in the land of Kneel Before the King?
Luke, you want to take the reins on this one?
Sure. I mean, we're so coming from a solo project to a full band. I mean, it's definitely been a journey. You know, we've had some highs and lows, but since January, I mean, we've had some unbelievable things that's happened, and it's been pretty great. So as far as singles go, we are now currently working with Sleep Token and Bring Me the Horizons engineer team. So we're releasing a pretty big single with them. And I mean, they're doing Sleep Token stuff now, which is, I mean, unfathomable for us.
That's amazing.
On a daily basis.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just, it's a very small world when you think about it. You know, I mean, growing up listening to that kind of stuff, and I know for them too, it's like all our inner child's just like, but you know, super amazing experience. And gosh, I mean, what do y'all think about it? Because I could talk all day about it, but it's really,
yeah, it's been surreal. I mean, I know January we kind of kicked off, like late January we kicked off the band with a new name. You know, we'd had the concept going for a while, and there was a lot of kind of uncertainty. You know, is this the right call? Going from Luke's solo career, we kind of had some momentum going, and starting fresh, right? We were all like, is this the right decision? Are we doing the right thing? And then since then, it's just kind of been like one big thing after another, you know. We got in touch with those guys, the engineering team, and then really like we just found ourselves a drummer super recently, like within the past week. And, you know, it's just kind of like the songwriting's been going great. We've got the next track set out for you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Luke, is it cool if I talk about the release time frame for that or no?
it just really depends. So, I mean, we released Strangers under my personal back in October, but we have a remix for it too. So, I mean, it just really depends on what's getting released next. So that's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. But yeah, the momentum's been picking up really quickly, and we're just kind of, it's been a nice positive reassurance that, okay, I think we made the right decision. You know, there's no regrets with this. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So that's been really good. But how about you, Danny? How you feeling?
So I'm totally new to this whole scene. I don't know if anybody ever said to this. Like, everything that I've been doing, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a lot to process. Like, obviously, you know, when they tell me, I'm like, this is a lot for me to take in. But it's been a fun journey, and I kind of like what I told them. I was like, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. I mean, great group of guys. It's very hard to find people that, you know, you just can click with and make it a very fun journey. And excuse me. kind of each step's a fun stepping stone. It's like each birthday gift that's being laid out. And I don't know what the surprise is going to be. So I mean, it's been a very fun, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
I got to give a shout out to Danny here. He's never been in a band before. I knew Danny and I go way back. So we actually lived in North Carolina for a long time, knew each other there. I moved to Florida about 3.5 years ago. And then about a year and a half ago, he and his wife wanted to move down to Florida. And so we became roommates. But he's always been able to scream like in the car. Like he's had a mad talent for it. And then finally, kind of after we talked about going more towards the metal hard rock thing, with some persuasion, we got him to hop on board. So this is all new to him, and he's taking it like a champ. He's learning quickly.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Like, he's been killing it. So shout out to Denny for that one. But
I can tell you, as being a screamer, I don't know how long you've been doing it for, but vocal lessons will even if they're not a screamer. If you get like 1 or 2 vocal lessons, or even Melissa Cross, get the DVDs for Zen Screaming, and it'll absolutely change your life.
That's what I'm looking for, honestly, because like I want to save my voice. Because I told him like my biggest influence for like why I wanted to scream. So like obviously, this day and age, I like the old school, like, with Asking Alexandria, you had Suicide Silence, you had all of them. I said Danny Worsnoff was like, the whole Stand Up and Scream album was like what I told James, what I told Luke. I said, that's what made me want to scream. Yeah. I said, Danny Worsnoff's highs and lows. I was like, live, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to learn. But obviously with the wear and tear, the damage of him doing it wrong and incorrect for so long, I said, I'd like to be able to keep doing that. So I kind of looked more towards Noah Sebastian screaming. Kind of where he can have like both worlds. After he's done, acts like he never even did anything. So and I definitely want to do vocal lessons, and we were just talking about that. So and I've been asking other screamers that we've came across, like, hey, what's your technique? They're like, hey, maybe vocal lessons, or just kind of they're like, hey, just practice it out, or really just put your all into it. But I was like, I appreciate you telling me to put my all into it. I just want to make sure I'm not gonna hurt myself in the process.
Fall into the wrong spot.
Yeah. And then I'm smoking on stage.
Yeah, I mean, so like Jimmy's not a screamer. He's a singer. I do a little bit of both, but like that's the problem with screaming is like you got to find that spot in your voice, and the only way to do it is to actually do it. And you know what? You're gonna hit a spot that's going to screw you for a week or two. And but if you're able to identify those spots and then have the vocal lessons, that's going to help you with your breathing, and it's all breathing. It's literally all breathing, and like placement of the breath and how you shoot it out and where you scream from and stuff like that. If you're not just screaming from here, because that's why Avenged Sevenfold, their singer can't sing anymore. That kind of stuff. If you could get that going, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I can't recommend Melissa Cross enough.
She's the best.
She's amazing. This fun little hippie old woman, and she'll have you doing guttural ABCs while doing jumping jacks. Like she's insane, but she's worked with everyone.
Literally everybody.
And then Chris Lipe also is a really good one. You can find him on YouTube. Liepe. He's got a bunch of free lessons that are really good. And then he brings people on all the time, that different screamers and stuff. And they'll talk about technique and everything. So that's a good.
And Melissa Cross will do. She does a lot of webinars too.
Yep.
So, and they're inexpensive.
Yeah.
So highly recommend, especially if you're new to it.
I did a lesson with her and it changed my life.
Right on.
Absolutely, definitely.
It was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah. So awesome. So you guys, you're going to do the single thing. Are you working toward a record? You working toward tour? You working toward what
So, this year, restarting all over, it's kind of hard, especially coming from something you've worked on for, a couple years now, being a solo artist and doing all that. I think it was the right time, it was just the right time, right place, right move kind of thing. We took the risk, we're starting back from ground zero, However, we have a lot of carryover, but at the same time, so much more has happened in like 2 months than it has, all year. So, just this year is really all about making, discography and rebranding media, just building our presence, right? And then I know we have, you want to talk about it? We have a concept for an album that we're going to start working on here pretty soon. I know we're flying out to California in July to get back in the studio with Nathan Darmody. So we're going to start working on some stuff with him, and then just continue to work with these engineers that we have, and hopefully by the end of next year, we can fly out to London and get in the studio with them. So that's the goal right now. But as far as shows and touring, that's the biggest thing for next year is what we're really working towards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome, man. So before we head out, where can people find everything?
Yep. I mean, so our Instagram is Kneel Before the King. In our bio, we have a website. It's MBTK official at Comey, .comey.io. It's got our merch website in there. It's got all our socials, Spotify links, but you can find our music on all major platforms. So we're pretty much everywhere.
Nice. We'll have links below also. So everybody that is listening, definitely go check out Kneel Before the King. Go listen to Save Me right now. Check it out, and then hit these guys up and let them know what you think.
And also, like, it's one of those things. It's funny because when we were first talking to Luke, you were just, when we spoke at first, you were like, yeah, I kind of just started writing songs like recently. I forgot how, like, it was within a couple of years, and we're like, we've really, like, you're here now after just doing this a couple of years. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been
and this
so
is level up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So I carry this with me. It's got the date I released my first song, so April 11th, 2022. So I was still in the military, and I've been doing it ever since then.
Yeah,
still very short.
So for those listeners who remember Luke and his music, all grown up now, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really great, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us for as long as you have.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody go check out their stuff. And I don't know, what else is there, Jimmy?
Well, everybody every day should just remember to ask themselves one very important question. Just remember, when you get up every day, just think to yourself, what's that thing in my life, that thing that makes my day a little bit better, that thing that makes me feel a little bit more, that takes the bad things away, the thing that makes me, the thing that's a topping, a side, or a main course that takes the plate of my life and makes it tastier, more delicious, more amazing. That thing for me that might be my Warhammer. And that's not a masturbation thing. Ask yourself that very important question.
Do you guys remember what that question is?
What's your bacon?
Bacon.
Yes.
Damn right.
Awesome, guys.
Everybody go home and play with their Warhammer.